Lesson 6.5, Simplifying Algebraic Expressions. An algebraic expression is an expression that contains numbers, variables, and exponents. For example, it could be 3x squared y. That would be an algebraic expression. Now, like terms are terms that have the same variable with the same exponent. So if I had 3x squared y, something with like terms could be negative 5x squared y. They are like terms because they have the same variables with the same powers. Now, when we do rational like terms, that means ones that usually have fractions and decimals, they are added or subtracted using the distributive property. So let's look at number 1. What we want to do is first confirm that we have like terms by looking at the variables and their powers. In this case, we just have x, y in both, so they are like terms. So what we're going to do is we are going to regroup the problem by taking the coefficients that are in the front and grouping them together. So here we would now have 4 minus 2 in parentheses times the xy. Leave the xy in the back. Well, 4 minus 2 is 2, so you end up with 2xy. Now it works the same way with fractions. First thing you want to do is confirm that you have the same like term. In this case we do. We have xy. So again, pause the video for a moment, see if you can regroup it to be able to solve it. Okay, we go to the front. We have 7/5 minus 4/5. So we're going to rewrite it as 7 over 5 minus 4 over 5 xy. Well, we have like denominators, so you just subtract. 7 minus 4 is 3 over 5. Bring down the xy, and your answer is complete. Now remember, when you're adding or subtracting fractions, you must find a common denominator first. Pause the video for a moment and see if you can solve this problem. Okay, we have like terms because, again, they both have an xy without a power. So what we want to do is rewrite it, and I'm going to write it this way just so you can see it. 1/6 xy plus 2/3 xy. What is your common denominator? The common denominator is 6. Well, since this is already 1/6, I can write the whole thing. And then we write plus something over 6 xy. Well, 3 goes into 6 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Now I can add them together as I regroup. So I take out the 1/6 plus the 4/6 xy, and if I add them together, I get 5/6 xy. Okay, it works exactly the same way with decimals. Key thing to do is remember to line up your decimal points. Pause the video and try this problem. Okay, so pull out 7.2 plus 5.29 and leave the y, which is what they have in common. And now you have to add them together. Remember, the key with decimals is to line up the decimal point. So you may want to rewrite it with the 5.29 there to make sure you add it correctly. Then you bring down the 9, the 4, put your decimal, and 7 plus 5 is 12, and then bring down the y. So 12 and 49/100ths y is your final answer. Okay, now this is the first problem that we're doing that doesn't have everything as a like term. So pull all of the like terms together. So pause the video for a moment while you rearrange the equation and put all the x's together and put all the y's together. Okay, so you now have 2/3 x plus 8x plus 9y plus 5y. Those are the ones that are like terms. Now again, use the distributive property to pull out the coefficients of the variables that are like terms. So these are the two that will go together. So we would now have 2/3 plus 8x, and then we would do the y's. So we would have to combine the 9 and the 5. So we would have plus parentheses, 9 plus 5 y. And now all you have to do is combine them. Well, 8 plus 2/3 is 8 2/3 x, plus 9 plus 5 is 14y. Can I combine 8 2/3 and 14? The answer is no, because they have different variables. One has an x and one has a y. So that would be your final answer. Okay, now this is the first problem we're doing where we also have powers involved. Remember, in order to have like terms, you have to have the same variable with the same power. So what I would like you to do is pause the video while you rearrange the equation, or the expression rather, to make sure that all of the like terms are grouped together. So now you would have 5x squared plus 8x squared. Remember to keep the sign in front of each number, minus 2/3 x minus 1/4 x plus 6. Now, we have to see which one of these are like terms. Well, here we have like terms in the front. We also have like terms in the middle. So we're going to pull out their coefficients. So on this one, we want to pull out the 5 and the 8. So we would write 5 plus 8 x squared plus, now we have to go to the next term, and we have to find out what they have in common. They're with the x's, so we want to pull out the negative 2/3 and the negative 1/4. So we would write negative 2/3 minus 1/4 x. Now 6 has nothing in common, so just bring it down. And now you can solve it. The first part is easy. 5 plus 8 is 13x squared. Remember, on the next part, we have two negatives, which means the signs are the same. When the signs are the same, you add. But before you can add, you have to find a common denominator. What denominator would you use for 3 and 4? The answer is 12. So now you have negatives for both of them. 3 goes into 12 4 times. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 goes into 12 3 times. 3 times 1 is 3. And now you can combine them together. So we bring down the 13x squared. And now you do negative 8 and negative 3 is negative 11/12. And here, a positive times a negative would give you a negative, so I'm just going to write in the negative sign. And 8 plus 11 is 3/12 x, and then bring down the 6. And that is your final answer. We cannot put together the 13x squared and the 11/12 because they do not have the same variable with the same power. If they are not the same, we cannot add them together. Okay, here's the last problem that we're going to do. This one is a little bit different than what you've done before. So let's set it up the way that you'll understand it better. So we want to write it as 2x over 3y times 4y minus 3x. Okay? And what you're going to do here is you're going to distribute everything that's inside the parentheses to the fraction that's on the outside. So we're going to end up writing 2x over 3y times 4y plus 2x over 3y minus 3 or times negative 3x. So all we've done here is take what's inside and brought it down to the fraction that's on the outside. Now, let's look at the math and see if we can do it. Here, we can do some canceling. So I can cancel a y with a y, because remember, this is also the same as 4y over 1. And now there's nothing else that can be canceled. So multiply going across, you end up with 8x over 3. Now let's go to the other fraction. We can cancel the 3 with the 3. So this would be 1, this would be negative 1. There's nothing else that can be canceled, so we multiply going across. 2x times negative 1x is a negative 2x squared. over y. Now, these are not like terms, so we can't do anything else with them. However, when we are dealing with powers, we want to put them in what we call descending order. So descending order means the expression with the highest power goes first. In this case, the x squared is the highest power. So we want to rearrange the order and make it negative 2x squared over y plus 8x over 3. And that would be your final solution. Okay, I hope you've taken notes and that if you have any questions, you ask them in class. Have a great night.